You've done this install 100 times. You've set up your projector, you've set up your sources, you've set up your AVR, all by the book. The projector fires up, source is live, but signal refuses to stay stable. Why now? Why this system? What went wrong? This exact thing happened here at AWE. Our performance cinema system had been running perfectly for years, but when we upgraded to the new QB1000 from Epson, something unexpected happened. The signal started dropping out. It wasn't the projector, it wasn't the sources, and we didn't think it was the cable. And just to be clear, the original cable wasn't some mystery lead. It had already been bench tested and passed an 18 gig signal test, which made the instability on the new setup even more surprising. However, the solution was simple, and it was a new HDMI cable. Once we'd swapped it out for one of these, the dropouts disappeared completely, and we were back to 100% stable image. But why did this happen? What changed? And more importantly, how can you make sure it doesn't happen on your installs? HDMI has been around for more than 20 years, and when it first came along, it felt simple. If you plugged in a cable and got a picture without sparkle, that was good enough. Back then, no one was really talking about data rates. A standard HDMI cable could happily carry 720p or 1080p at 30 Hz, which is around 2.2 gigabits per second. Today, things look very different. Those old cables can't carry even the most basic of 4K image, and there's no chance of HDR. HDR formats run at a far higher bitrate, and this is exactly where older or lower grade cables begin to show intermittent issues, particularly in projection systems where cable runs are longer. And just to be clear, everything we're discussing here relates purely to data rate negotiated between source and the display. The cable has no role in analysing, adjusting, or improving the content itself. For 4K HDR at 60 frames per second, you need around 18 gigabits per second. Push that to 120 frames per second, and you're looking at 40 or even 48 gig, and that's a big ask over distance. Active optical HDMI, like Kordz Pro 4, is built for these longer runs. It's thinner and easier to route. It's immune to interference, and it can maintain a full 48 gigabits per second reliably over significant lengths. It's essential to specify the best cable possible. At AWE, we recommend Kordz HDMI cables. Their range covers every bandwidth requirement, but even if most content tops out at 18 gigabits per second, we suggest choosing a 48 gig cable wherever possible. Most content will be fine with 18, but if gaming is on the cards, or if you're working with the latest generation of projectors that support 120 Hz, then you'll need that extra bandwidth. Plus, having headroom in your system is always a smart move. A cable rated at 48 gig will handle those 18 gig signals with ease. Projector manufacturers are well aware of these challenges. Devices like Apple TV, for example, will read the EDID of the projector and push the highest resolution it detects. A good example is our Epson QB1000. By default, its EDID tells connected devices it can handle 4K 120 at 40 gigs. But without an ultra high-speed cable, that simply won't work. The good news is you can adjust the EDID in the projector's menu to cap it at, say, 18 gigabits per second or even 10 gig. This forces the connected devices to send signals within those limits. As a short-term fix, that's absolutely fine. But if you want to get the best from the projector, upgrade your cable. So while a cable cannot improve image quality, the right cable ensures you can actually deliver the highest quality the system is capable of without compromise. Here's a reference chart showing which Kordz HDMI cables support what bandwidths. Pause here to take a closer look or screenshot it for later. The second chart breaks down the signal types and the bandwidths they require. So back to AWE. Every cinema system here now runs on Kordz active optical HDMI cables from AV rack to projector and Kordz Pro 4 HDMI cables within the racks, all rated at 48 gigabits per second. The reason we had issues with our QB1000 upgrade wasn't the projector itself, it was that the projector's EDID asked for a higher bitrate signal than our older cable could deliver. Once we moved to the 48 gigabits per second cables, those higher bandwidth requests were met and dropouts disappeared completely. That's why these cables have become our standard choice in projector-based systems where longer runs and higher refresh rates are common. The stability they provide has been outstanding, eliminated failures that we experienced with those old 18 gig copper cables, and giving us headroom for gaming, 120Hz playback, and future content formats. So here's the simple takeaway. If a system starts failing after a projector or source upgrade, don't just assume it's a new piece of kit at fault. Check what data rate the system is trying to move. Check the EDID settings and make sure the cable is genuinely capable of carrying the signal over the distance you need. The full range of Kordz HDMI cables is available to UK installers through AWE. If you'd like more advice on specifying the right cable for your next project, contact us directly and we'll be happy to help.
If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and check out more of our content below. Don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell icon to stay updated when new videos go live. We'd love to hear from you, so drop your thoughts or questions in the comments. Thanks for watching!